Right, I think we're on. I need to check on my phone, but I don't know where that is. Right, appears to be working. To reattach this and a giant leap to escape. Go, go, go. Wow, 6 people tuning in already, probably out of curiosity more than anything. Once you find out what's going on, they'll all leave. No, 8, right. Well, welcome everyone. Hopefully last week's teething problems will have been solved to some degree. I have today a rather peculiar self-portrait. I've had this mirror for probably nearly 20 years. I found it in a kind of rubbish reclamation place, and it was some kids had done some little project, and it was gaffer taped to the top of an oil drum. I think it was meant to be some kind of alien. Anyway, they'd had their fun and they were long gone, and I saw it, and I've always been fascinated by these things. Ever since doing drawings on the top of a bus, was before cameras, the driver would have a little periscope and then a convex mirror like this, so they could see what was happening at the top of the bus. Yeah, the way it curves everything, it's actually I think closer to the world that surrounds us than the one we experience through our own minds, and I find that rather interesting. There's an awful lot of information, basically more than 180 degrees, because it's a mirror where I'm looking at the edges. It's going almost all the way backwards, so you get a nearly 360 degree view in a weird sense. It's got to be pretty close to it. I suppose it depends how close you are to the mirror. But anyway, most of that isn't really any information you can make sense of. It's mostly the center of the mirror that gives you an image. I've got a big light on, so hopefully that'd help. What I find really lovely is the way you can see the bottom of the easel and the top of the easel in the mirror. I don't know how visible that is from your view there, but yeah, I've got my work cut out here, haven't I? This is going to be, what was I thinking? Anyway, I've still got yesterday's palette from where I did a painting of Henry over there. I'll put it on the easel a second so you can have a look. I was quite pleased with it, which I don't say very often, so make most of that. Oh, that's why I've got this thing on there as well. Let's drop that down a little bit so you can have a butcher's. Yeah, so he was on the sofa yesterday playing me some tunes, and I did that painting, and came out rather nicely. I was reasonably pleased. How's that looking? So there he is playing his guitar. So I've already got some room colours on here, and there's no harm in carrying on from those. So I guess that's what I'll do. Hang it back on the wall. Same with yesterday's brushes, yesterday's White Spirit. I might go for a cleaner version later on, but the drawing is going to be kind of important with this, so I'll crack on with that. I've only just got everything set up, so I'm going for a cup of tea or a drink or something. So I might have a little pause later, but first things first, I'm going to start with a little round brush and I'm going to draw lines. I'm going to do all the things I tell people not to do in classes. So it's a lot of fun to break all your own rules. The reason I tell people not to do lines is because, well, it's impossible not to do lines, but you want to be trying to think of things other than lines, because otherwise you just get absorbed in what the outline is and you know, how that describes the object, and you miss all the other things that are actually really useful. Wherever I go, my head is always going to be in the middle. It's always going to be reflected in the foremost point of the mirror, and the rest of the image is going to curve around that. So, and I've got a square canvas here, so that's my head right there. That's where that's going to go. So now I'll just do the rest by dividing shapes. So let's say I've got this sort of arch created by the wall, and then I've got a screen up above me, but I'll just treat that like a beam. Yeah, that'll go to about there. And it'll come down to about here, kind of thing. And then really sort of curve around the top of that curve is going to be here. And then it pretty much follows out to the edge. So yeah, I'm going to be testing my circles today. Just I can do it, I can do it. Okay. So I'm just eyeballing this, a lot of this. That's a wall there. And it comes across here. Let's change it to about there. That feels about right. And then it bows out, and then it comes back in up to about there. Yeah. So now if I look at that little rectangle of the cupboard in the background, see where that goes. Is that going to be about here compared to where I am? Yeah, okay. So that's pretty small. Angles, funny angles. There you are. It sort of straightens up as we get nearer to the middle. And that comes in there, and that's where I go. Okay, I'm starting to see this now. Yeah, okay. So I'm not going to try and be too super accurate with this, because I think a lot of it depends on just in the language of what's happening going on. I also don't know how much this is an instinct for how things curve. I shouldn't have said that, should I? That's going to be straight there. Then it's going to start to curve in. It doesn't do too much. Straighter. Okay, lots of vertical lines. Not going to worry too much about all of those. There's this weird tray construction thing that I've built to put my palette on. Now, this is really interesting here. It's a shadow shape. box I put my rags into. Okay, hunching a bit less now, that's good. Okay, starting to see a bit of drawing turning up. Okay. Now that line there, the wall actually comes in here somewhere. And just dip in behind that cupboard, and also there's my plan chest. Shapes of the rugs. It's going to curve out there. Blue studio stool. Straight down from there. That's too far, isn't it? And then it straightens out a bit like that. Whatever. Yeah, so the funny thing is your eye adapts to the scale as you look around. So although it's vastly exaggerated, the change in scale from things in the foreground and background, because it's a convex mirror, there is there's a thing your brain does to adapt. So it goes, oh, well, that's a rug, and I recognise how big that would be, and you try to change it. Resisting that is quite difficult to do, but that was out here, just there, yeah, and then it starts to curve up there somewhere. Once I've got lines in, I can start to do this with the colour. Where's that come across to? There's so many things to check against, but that's alright. I'll try and keep it quite simple. So this is lovely. I've got the V of the... I suppose the other thing is this room, there's so many confusing things going on in this room. Anyway. I'm going to have to change the scale of that to fit everything in. Because what I didn't want to do was do a circle first. You could sort of just drop around a circle onto that square. See how everything fits into it. But I'd rather put the shapes together and see how they go. So yeah, this would be further in, wouldn't it? Yeah, I've gone too far with that box. Maybe go over the edges a little bit so we can get away with it. No, pretty good. It's pretty close to where it is. Yes, there's a great big plank down the middle of my studio. I don't know if you can see it from where you are. is kind of hilarious. At some point, when it used to be 2 rooms and it got turned into 1, I think it was when it was a space above a shop. That isn't steep enough. Someone thought, well, just knock the wall out and oh, there's a big gap. Let's just put a big white plank on it and leave that. Someone left the room and went, yeah, that's fine. And so that's still here. Yeah, we've got these interesting little shapes here. That's a window. Neatly level there. That is the floor. Line of the floor coming around here. I don't want to get too caught up in drawing because I'm going to have to do more when I'm actually painting it in. But in the meantime, that's sort of roughly where the stool's going to go. Like that. That rug further over. Oh well, lots of things to figure out as I go along. Where's the light? It's there. Okay, at a certain point I'm going to have to get away with this. Is that going to be? Table in front of that. There is a cat here. We'll put him in. Just to find things that are interesting and sleep near them. Anyway, this is all fairly abstract here. We're getting carried away. Yes, that should all be higher up here. Okay, so that's where I lost it. At least I know. There's a bright light here somewhere. There's a shadow all over that side. Okay. That's the basics of drawing it out. Well, the initial flurry of people going, oh, what's this? Has passed. And it's just the hardcore who are left. Thank you. I'm going to have to mix a few colours here. You have to keep it simple as well. And then it's a shadow colour for the walls, a light colour for the walls. Same thing for the carpets. I'm going to manage this. Oh well, think about it in a second. Rather than clean the palette properly and wash it all off, I'm going to have to do my best to keep the same kind of colours in the same kind of places. None of the colours really clean, so I don't have to worry too much about it. For that, I'm going to put a bit more raw umber out. There's lots of neutrals here. Oh, message. Hi Jason. Thanks for the vote of confidence. I'll see what happens. Again, the trick is not to get too absorbed in details. They can come later if necessary. A great way to do that is to start with a really big brush. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, we get ochre as well. Okay. Light. Let's pop it here. Green. I'm going to warm it up. I'm going to put a bit of pink in there. A bit of alizarin crimson. It'll get a bit lighter than that as time goes on as well. I can see roughly where I want that colour to go. It's about here. Now it looks really light on the palette. That's funny. Okay. On the palette, on the canvas. Where's this tone? Where's this tone on there? It's probably not far off this carpet colour here. So if that's the carpet colour, let's get the wall colour. How much lighter is it? Is that too much? It's yellower than that. Mad. It looks really yellow on the palette. Make a pink version. It's positively orange. Is it the right amount lighter? It probably is. Okay, let's put a bit of green in there. That's way too much. Right, can't mix colours today then. some very special neutrals going in here. Okay, somewhere in between those two, even pinker than that. It's pretty close. Some over here as well. Right, here I say big brush. Muddy white spirit here as well. Okay, rough shapes. Okay, no, that's going to be greener and lighter. We can lighten it later on. Okay, getting fiddly, don't get fiddly. That's next to the window. It's all in shadow. It's greener over there. It's greener over here. Where's the door? That's right behind my hand, so that's useful. It helps with drawing a little bit. Sort of the same colour as the cat. Who's there? Pop him in while we got the chance. What else? Oh yeah. So the whole, oh, that's more like it. Got the colour now, it's way too blue before. Now darken up towards the edge and lighten up towards the middle. In the meantime, for the first stages, it's okay. Okay, keep dabbing. Where else does this go? Bluish one. It's probably a bit over here, but it's even darker. Put a bit more brown in there. It's kind of going to go in this shape here. Too light. Yeah, browner, definitely browner. It's amazing how much you think you've got a colour and then you put it on and you realise it's completely off. Okay. Blues out towards the edge. Let's have a look at deeper shadows over here. Let's put a bit more blue in that. Sticking with it being quite neutral, and it's definitely pinker up there. So we've got a pinker shadow colour up here. Okay, it doesn't look very pink, but never mind. Near the edges of the ceiling you get a bit darker bit. A few lighter bits of this room here. Shadow towards the edge of that shape. dark shadow over here. I'm just doing this with brush mixers at the moment. I have to do everything with a knife. Yeah, nowhere near dark enough. More brown in there. Sort of the greeniness at the edge, that's okay. And then it's definitely a lot redder as you go in further. Definitely in here, yeah. That's it. Don't be afraid of the red in that. Chuck a whole load of it in. That's great. Where else does that belong? Make an even redder version and pop this carpet in. No, not yellow enough. Don't want to go too far into the strong colours too soon. Here we are. It seems to be working okay. We'll put the extra darks in later. Yeah, slightly browner version in the distance there. Which, as I said, that's my rug, and that is pretty close to the actual original colour. So my colour's all staying, it's all behaving itself. It's all staying within a range. Again, I'm going to need a darker version of all of this. Where's that going to go? That's too dark there. No, definitely in here it gets darker. This whole thing, that whole rug there, it's all darker. There's lights as well, but we'll put them in later. It'll help shape the image better, I think. Halfway one for this rug here. Okay, starting to turn up, starting to come together. Okay, where was I with this colour over here? Is that too purple now? I'll probably do for the shadows. Yeah. There's a few shadowy areas of carpet. A bit green. I don't know, I think carpet's a generous word to use for the floor coverings in here, which is a great relief. Because there's no way carpets never survive. Yeah, there's a decent carpet, right? Not getting my deposit back then. That's how that works. Where was I? Losing my place. Okay. More carpet. That's the layer. That's that sort of light shape. There's some over here. If I can get this right, it will take care of some of the drawing for me. Yes. There's a cat in front of it. He's still there, you know. One day I'm going to paint him. He's actually going to stay still the whole time. There's nothing as peaceful. Right, how much more can I do to this? A little bit on there, no. It belongs in these paintings here. Yeah, so there's a bit of it in this rug. I'll go back to that purpley one. Put some light shapes in there. Inside of the box as well. I'm going to make a green version of this now. That was already a red mix, so this will be quite neutralised, but I want a bit of extra green in there. I'm feeling it, so I'm going to make more of it. Where else is there some? Oh, it's another painting. Where else does this belong? There's some there. And that's Bournemouth Beach in the rain. Yeah, it's greener at the edge, definitely. Too far with it. How's this in here then? But you know what, that actually worked out okay. Need a browner version of it. Put a bit of red in there, neutralise it a bit, but pretty much as it appears. There's more of that. Oh no, he's up. It's a colour in the middle. There's also a really sort of orangey glow, once I get it. No, yeah, this is all too light. I get that right. This can go in there. Perfect. It definitely gets greener at the edges. It's quite interesting how that happens. Anyway, it's kind of started, I guess. How are we doing for time? My clock won't tell me. Bit orange. That prepares for the glow. Where else can that go? Bit in there, I think. And now the cat's over there. Right, shall I try and get him in before he moves? As soon as you're doing your posing, okay, got that green shadow again. Oh, you little swine. Do that from memory then. There he is. But you'll come back so I can finish it off. Yeah, not getting any more paint on that. Back here for the light bits. Back here for the golden bits. Yeah, redder. Oh, but not that red. Well said. Yeah, it's a bit orange in there. Let's bring some of that in. It's behind here, and it's got orange. Orangeness in there. Let's put a bit into the carpet. Where else? That's it's going to be brighter than that, isn't it? What about over here? There's definitely a bit of a glow. Here, where the lamp is. Okay, what else am I going to need? There's a shadow colour over here that I have to get it in. So if I don't, it won't look right. I'll travel all the way up, all the way across. Goes in behind there, also in behind here. An even deeper shadowy colour. That green's back again, inside that cupboard. It's darker down there. I think it's lighter over this side. I don't know if I'm seeing a room yet, but I really haven't. I did most of that with one brush, and no rag to clean it off with, so that's my muddy stuff, which I did promise at the beginning. One last thing. Let's get some of that light in there. Light enough. Get that glare. Yeah, there's a bit of it there too. top. It goes grey again. Okay, I'm going to need a shadowy colour for my easel, but not too shadowy. Actually, it's quite warm. I'll be putting the darks on afterwards. I guess so. I'm not trying to do too much here. Interesting question. Yeah, I'm going to have a little break from this. This is kind of intense. But can I really? Yeah, the trickiest thing with something like this is there's so much going on and you don't want to get caught up in one bit. So once you've got colour on the brush, you kind of look for everywhere that goes. And I don't think I've been doing that very well. So that's something. I'm going to have a little bit of a pause. And come back to that. Yeah, so 5 minutes. Oh, hi Rose. That's nice. And do keep leaving comments. You've got 5 minutes to come up with suggestions or explanations of what I've done horribly wrong. And I'm seeing so many things now. Yeah, figure it out in the second half. I'm also realising how bad I am at drawing circles. Crikey. It's gone right off the edge. We'll bring it back in, that'll be fine. Is that better? Ping. Thank you very much for the prompts, everybody. I hope that's, but yes, that should be back on now. Hang on, I'll have a look at it. No, it's not telling me. Can't see any reason it wouldn't be working. Hey. It was nearly a replay of a few weeks ago. Oh yeah, so where else was that orange going to go? There's only a little bit there. That table's quite small there. The tabletop. Some darker orange colours in here. Don't get too carried away with them. What else will this do for? Yeah, I want to do the easel, but it's too soon. There's a bit of deep red in there. A bit of deep red there. I keep trying to get that, and I keep not managing it. Okay. How about behind here? There's some banister. Stairs going up. Can I use it for this? I think I can. So again, like I said before, I've got to look for all the places where this colour turns up. I can use it for that. I quite like having this sort of deep warm colour on the brush. It might not be literal, but it will do the job for a lot of the shadows. Big old 70 speaker. I'm sure it doesn't help knowing what the things are. I'm going to have to have another brush so I can tidy up some of the lights on the walls. So there. That should be better. This can be lighter. This can be lighter. This can this. Where else? Definitely down there. Storage heaters. And the cat's returned. You're going to go back to your position, Moggins. While that light is on the brush, I can mix it in with what's in the rear areas a little bit more satisfying with that contrast. Get a bit in there. What other lights? Do some of the patterns on the carpet. I don't want to get too caught up in them too soon. Some of these little diamondy shapes. Whatever's going on behind there. Same in here. Dab, dab, dab. Jumping ahead to a few highlights here, but that's okay, I'm going to let myself. It's because I want to be able to see it now. This sort of light edge on that carpet there. What else? Kitchen towel. On the floor right behind me. Let's put a bit. I want to put the dark in first. I'm not sure I do. Look. I'm going to put the light in first. Which again is that slightly orangey light I had earlier. That's abysmal. If I can plop the dark right in the middle of it, maybe that would work. A slightly lighter edge. There you are, one roll of kitchen towel. No, that's just awful. It's just so awful. It's a bit more like it. Where was I? Carpet colour. Okay, now that looks like a roll of kitchen towel. Sort of. I'm not going to get away with that. Fiddly details. Don't want to get caught up in it too soon. That's what I kept promising myself. Some patterns of light on that carpet as well. Okay, same thing here. That greeny colour. My frames hang up. There as well. It's all in shadow now. Light. Oh yeah, that creamy light with this sort of plank thing in the middle of the room. I may as well paint it in, even though it won't make any sense to anybody. Sort of thing. Yeah, if most rooms had them, it would be fine, but luckily enough for everybody else, they don't. This definitely extends down a bit. the edge of the mirror is further out here. I don't mind. I don't mind that it's getting off the edge. It isn't really bothering me. Seems off here. Oh yeah, I've got that big old beam that goes across here. It started there and it came across, and then it gets lighter and more orange. Let's do that this way. The yellow ochre carries a bit of light with it. See if that works. Yeah, it appears to. Where else does that need to go? There, really? Oh, yeah, there. Who'd have thunk it? Right, I'm getting caught up in little details now, which I don't want to do. I've got an interesting little bit of business going on up here with my self-portrait up on the wall. There's also a mandolin right next to it. Maybe I'll try that first. Probably enough of that. Let's see if this will do for the rest of the table. Probably will. That was clumsy and bad, but anyway, I'm not going to let myself get away with probably an awful lot. Darker and redder. That bookcase is in the wrong place. Okay, this is a case of artistic license then. Yeah, I'll leave it where it is. All that heavy darks on there. I keep looking for the edge of this rug, and I think that's because it is going to be quite important. That heavy shadow under there needs to be so much redder. I think I'll be okay with that now. I think I'll let that go. Right. So just some heavy darks now, neutral ones, which I'm going to do with. Oh, hang on. I've just seen this over here. No, that's way darker. Shadow of this window. The curl it makes there. Then we get into the heavy light. edge on there is kind of important. Pop that in. Now, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the dark. I'm going to mix up a dark here. That's alizarin crimson and viridian. That makes just about the blackest black you can make. That's going to go in here. Now we really just want that to be at the front. Use it for my trousers. Oh, and that shadow. Yeah. Where else? A few bits in there for that shadow as it creeps across. It's not all like that, but enough of it is. So this is here. Okay, now there's lots of dark in there. Just kind of cutting at that tabletop in here. With a board at the edge of that table. Here, some mandolin and tails and what have you. Books and DVDs and things. Right, self-portrait. It was a bit dark and gloomy. There is a very bright, shiny vase. There's a gloss black colour. It's next to it. What else? What else is very dark? Get a bit in there, that'll be alright. Actually, yeah, when we get to these paintings closer up. So it's last week's marmalade. Can't recognise what they are. Don't know what that is, but that's quite dark too. Yeah, when we get to the edge of this. What's going on there? Yeah, so it gets a bit fuzzier near the edge, and I don't think I have to worry quite as much about the details when I get to the edge. Some funny green shapes there. Should just enjoy the abstraction of it. What else? Oh, that's pretty good. Let's mix that in on the edge there. Oh yeah, there's a few bits and pieces in here. Frames and things. Should have been further across. Makes no sense having it hanging up there. Okay, now we get the inside of that. In there. So that's here on the walls. Right. What else needs doing? So I've got this pale blue, I'll put that in all the places I feel it belongs. I'll keep to that frame colour a little bit. Yeah, maybe in there a bit. Dark up here. This is very interesting. Well, the battery's running out. Right, I got rather absorbed with that. Where was I? What haven't I done? What I haven't done. I've got to get those mid-tones on before I get onto the really bright colours. So we've got this inside of there's the tray of the palette there. Darker. Oh, I've got that blue colour. I think I can finally sort this out. I'm seeing all these things and it's all too much. Right, I'm going to simplify it down. I'm going to go to my yellowy colours. Warm that up ever so slightly. That's too much. That's about right. I've got this corner under here. This line going up. It just goes up like that. Okay, mix more paint here. Bit of light, bit of warmth. That makes a shape there. Okay, that should be near enough. Where else does it go on here? That's too light there. Ah, that's really tricky. No, it does go on the back. And that is light. It goes almost all the way in. Same as along here. Yeah, that's right. And around there. And up here and down there. Sort of near enough and also nowhere close. Get to the shadow colour and put a little bit of oil in that. Just sort of spread out. I'm going to put this in all the places. Just want to mute it down. Here. Here. Too much in there. Okay, now this is definitely one of those paintings that could just go on and on and on forever. So I just have to finish it off. So what am I going to need to do? I'm going to need to stop fiddling with things like that. I have to put in some heavy darks. So that's where these go. So there's the tray of the palette. That's the edge there. Some brushes. Trousers. There's that deep shadow of the rug there. So everything there. This paint won't stick now, it's got too dark. It's got too thick. Want that box on. These darks in over here, so I don't have to think about them anymore. Same with that. That chair. All that green. Oh yeah, where else did it go? It went in here, didn't it? That should really help that. Right, it goes in here down at the bottom. Goes in here. This is where the shadows should really start defining what's going on. Ah, it's this whole shape up here that's warmer there. Should put some red in that. Well, we've got that deep brown colour on the palette. Figure out what my hands look like. So I said this would be a self-portrait. I didn't say I'd be spending very much time doing a self-portrait. It should start showing up now. What else is red? Some red stuff behind there. That's fine. Okay, I've got that deep grey brown of the easel. This is where it's got to be right. So let's start the most sensitive bit, or it would be an absolute disaster if it goes wrong. Just assume I know what I'm doing. That do the job? Yes, it does. Not even looking at that properly. Right here. Yeah, it cuts it all out, you see. Box. This should do a job. So that's my light colour for the box. Sharper corner. Okay. And similarly with that there. Now if I add a bit of blue to it, I should have a nice shadow colour for the same box. It should have been a much sharper angle than that, but there you go. That will have to do. Now I've definitely got a sense of the easel there. I'm quite happy with that. There's some more little splashes of light and bits and pieces, and all these different bottles and what have you up here. Yeah, these shells going in. A few last things. I'm going to use some very pure white. A little dab of yellow. The tiniest bit of red. I'll make an oranger version first, actually. And then go here. Again, more orange. Make quite a strong orange off to one side. And then a little bit. Okay, there's some over here as well. Go to that bright white, which we'll put right bang in the middle. Right in the middle, he says. I'll do it. It's too light and too far. Okay, what else is catching the light? A little flick off there. That's fine. Oh yeah, we've got these rather the blue ones going across. Got the stool, that's going to be important. While we're doing this, let's get a bit more colour up here. Let's put some books and things on the shelves. A few dashes of colour and pattern into this carpet and this one. What that's doing, let's not worry about it. And this is a fun bit. I've got these labels on the front of the plan chest. I'm going to go in order and then they go forwards like that. It should tell you that the drawers are sticking out. Okay. Stool. It's all pretty much one colour. This is dark blue. Okay, I've gotten scrappy with my palette discipline now, but it's because I know I'm near the end. Clean the brush then, because I haven't finished. I thought for a bit of extra entertainment I'd put some bananas on the stool, just because, you know, it felt like it was a bit easy otherwise. Why not make it difficult for yourself? Oh, let's have a bit of intense green up here. On the windowsill. Well, what else can we do that? We can have a few green books, I would have thought. Well, that works nicely. Carry some of the light across, forgive some of the green I've used. Right here, will work here. Yeah, it's all gone a bit greener than I thought it would be. last bits, let's go back to that slightly pasty pink colour. What could we use that for? Oh yeah. No, I've got to be quite strict with myself here. Shapes the shapes and I don't get to change them. Until I'm getting lazy because I keep using the same brush. Lazy. There I am. Something a bit like that, I think. Okay, we're definitely nearing the end now. Bananas. A bit of that in here as well. Okay, last bits of black wherever they need to go. They need to be sitting on something, otherwise that makes no sense. Still there. Yeah, a bit extra in that. Yeah. That one's ugly. Yeah, second self-portrait. Is that done? think that feels like it's pretty much done. That's the bottom of the palette now. It gets darker. Oh yeah, I didn't do those bits. Big brush time. Let's use that green again. No, too clean. How's that? Oh, I know what I've forgotten. The actual light source. That might be useful. Let's put that in. Lovely. Now it makes a bit more sense. Let's put it out to there. Yeah, I could fiddle with this all day now, really, but I'd better not. No, that's too light. See, I'm going to start making stupid little errors like this. I'm not careful. And also, that is 2 hours, so what I can do is I can get some edges in for those shells, and that'll help a lot. Yeah, I think that does. Sort of see what's going on now. That door. Yeah, it makes no difference. Smashing. The last bit is I'll just make up a whole load of this gunky black, stick a bit of oil on it to make it go a bit further, and let's get rid of these edges. I'm going to keep it rough so it doesn't look like I've tried to draw a perfect circle, which means people will just let me off and go, oh, you know, I'm sure he could have done it if he was trying. What do we think? Thank you for joining me for 2 hours. That was that was a bit of a trek, that one. I think a light green signature today because of the exaggerated green elsewhere. Well, that isn't even close to being signature. Right, let's get the appropriate brush on. Not that one either. This one. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah. Lovely. How's it look? The stuff I'm going to be fussy with myself about. There are a few things I know what it is. What's this? this to make sense. Yeah, I'll do. Right, no one's telling me to stop fiddling. Smashing. Keep seeing things. That makes all the difference, doesn't it? Yeah, it's a good job I did that. The cat isn't making sense. I might fiddle with that later, sort it out. But in the meantime, oh yeah, no, I didn't put my easel in. I rather liked that. Great. I shouldn't rush the endings. I shouldn't fiddle too much either. That will do it. Oh well, I'm not actually holding a brush. This is definitely the last mark. Ta-da! Phew! Well, thanks for joining me, and thanks for sticking around to the end, both of you. And next week, I might try doing something live from Wells Jazz Collective, which means it would just be my phone on a stand. But if you fancy watching me try and draw some live jazz, then that might be a thing I attempt next week. Otherwise, it might be something pre-recorded while I go off and do that. But either way, please do join me, and thank you for your company, and I'll see you next time.